accountable for what comes out. I'm known for running my mouth. I wanna be accountable for what comes out. I'm known for running my
Okay, I'm having a ton of fun with all these hints that SB Crumb is putting out there for us. And before we get into all the hints and why it is not for LOM, and what all these pictures mean and what I think it mean, just wanted to give a big shout out to SB Crumb, which is Salacious B. Crumb. That's what his name is. And that's a person I've met in person back at EA Play. And we also want to just briefly talk about Jango Fett. And Jango Fett is marquee, and a lot of people were discouraged by that. And I got to tell you, I wasn't thrilled. I actually kind of thought it was going to be something more than that. They are going to do something like a Marquee Plus, which I believe is coming out on the 20th, and they're going to give extra tiers of Carbantes and mod slicing. That is very good. And they are going to be coming out with other types of ways of getting characters, others marquees, and they says, as Carrie has discussed previously, working to change the upcoming schedule so there aren't as many marquees. But this isn't something that can happen overnight. We arranged our schedule to earlier introduce some characters through other event types so we can break up the marquee cadence. Most importantly, right here, in the meantime, stay tuned for our next character reveal. It is not a marquee. Now, they're not going to be putting characters in Galactic War shipments or things like that. They've said that in the past, that now those places are going to be used to fuel the shard shop and get gear. But we have other ways of getting characters. Legendary or territory battles, which is coming up on a year anniversary, is where we get Probe Droid and Rebel Officer Leia Organa. And Rebel Officer Leia Organa, as you can see right here in this picture, is the login reward for this month. And we're going to come back to this picture because even though, you know, she was on Hoth, but for most of the rest of the movie, she was in that outfit, flying around in the Falcon with C-3PO, Chewbacca, and Raid Han, or just regular Han, which we already have in the game. So, this is where the puzzle starts. Last week, this was put on the forums, and this was supposed to be a hint for who's going to be the next character. So what we see in this picture right here is a gray variation of 88. Some people said it's 86. No, that's just the way the Lego kit was, but it's actually 88, Boba Fett, Bosk, and Dengar. And most people immediately defaulted to 4-LOM, which was pretty logical because this was a pack that was sold as a 5-piece kit of bounty hunters by Lego. And inside that kit was the 4 shown in the picture and 4-LOM. So it seemed to make sense that we're going to get 4-LOM. Now, most people generally think that 4-LOM is not legendary worthy. I mean, in Empire Strikes Back, there, you know, the bounty hunters that were commissioned to seek out the Falcon and capture these 4 right here, you know, it was Boba Fett, Bosk, Dengar, 88, 4-LOM, and Zuckuss. And so 4-LOM and Zuckuss, I mean, they're just like barely flashes on the screen, relatively obscure. And so when I saw this, and then I was keeping that this was a package sold with 4-LOM, I kind of thought that maybe they were going to come out with a new dark side territory battles and maybe put 4-LOM as a reward, kind of like switch it up a little bit, and, you know, like how we get Probe Droid or Rolo. It kind of seemed to tie in with the login, you know, with this right here and with the 1-year anniversary of territory battles and this picture. Now, I just also want to put in my personal thoughts is that here in the background, to me, that looks like the Lego version of the Millennium Falcon. I could be wrong, but in this particular version of the Millennium Falcon, which you can see here in the pictures, had these red highlights. And we don't have C-3PO, OG Chewbacca, or the original trilogy Millennium Falcon, which is different than Episode 7, because that had like this square satellite dish, because in Return of the Jedi, the satellite was actually knocked off when Lando was flying through the Death Star. But in the original trilogy, the Millennium Falcon had the circular. So we've got Lando's Falcon, which has the escape pod, and it's a little bit more triangular. And then we've also got the Episode 7 Falcon, which has the square. But we don't have original trilogy Falcon, kind of seen like we have right here, which would be very interesting. So a lot of people kind of defaulted to 4-LOM. Maybe we're getting new territory battles, so on and so on. But then this came out, and I think that SB Crumb, Salacious Crumb, that's who Salacious Crumb is right here, was like, oh, I kind of messed up. It's not 4-LOM, and I don't want it to be 4-LOM. And so this was meant to be a hard puzzle, like where you move it around. It was like a flash thing. I guess some people knew how to break the code apart and hacked it almost instantly. And this was the picture revealed of what it is. And it's very obvious right here. There's 4-LOM. It's not me. And in the middle is a picture of Salacious B. Crumb. And then everybody went crazy about, might be nothing, but look at Crumb's hair. Any Lego figures that have that hair and beard style? Well, SB Crumb in real life has a hairdo just like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that was his hairdo, just spliced on Crumb, kind of trolling us, basically taking us back to this picture right here and saying, it's not 4-LOM. Who is it? Well, who could it be? There's a ton of really good ideas. A lot of people are saying maybe it's a different variation of Darth Vader. Maybe it is the bounty hunter Leia. I don't know. It's not 4-LOM. It's not going to be Zuckuss. I don't think it would be Zuckuss. The next logical thing for me would be Chewbacca, and that's who I am leaning towards. C-3PO or Chewbacca, but I don't think it's C-3PO. I think it's something else. An OG Chewbacca makes sense to me the most. We've already got a bunch of Hans. Why don't we need a Chewbacca? And I think that both of those characters, whether C-3PO or Chewbacca, could merit a legendary event in some way. And the reason why I think that is, if we look at R2-D2 and BB-8, those are both legendary events that kind of led to a bigger legendary event, like a hero's journey or something like that. And I think it would be logical, if we're going to get a hero's journey for Jedi Luke, then we might need a C-3PO or an original Chewbacca. It's up to you what you think. I'm not sure, but all we really know right now is that it is not 4-LOM, and they're kind of pointing towards something to do with Rebel Officer Leia Organa, territory battles, bounty hunters, and all those bounty hunters were commissioned to find these 4 right here. So the jury is out. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm curious to hear from all of you guys on who you think is going to be the next character, whether you think it's going to be legendary or some sort of other way of getting them, but it's going to be not marquee. And I think we should know probably all of this in probably the next week or two, if I were to guess. Okay, so now it's time for the giveaway. And the giveaway today, of course, has to do with something related to this. And so I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you're in luck. Every single person that likes this video will be getting for free in your account an 8-star backpack C-3PO. This is not a scam. See? Somehow I worked it out to have C-3PO and Chewbacca all in the same picture. I do think we need to get C-3PO. He's been in the cover art forever. And there's a lot of characters in the cover art that we haven't got, which would be Jedi Luke, Episode 3 Kenobi, and then also C-3PO has been in various artwork for quite some time. So all of that makes sense. And I just want to acknowledge some people were also saying Mechanical Legs Maul. That's pretty obscure. I don't think it's going to be that, and I don't think it's going to be Zuckuss, and they're saying it's definitely not going to be 4-LOM. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.